The Bank of England base rate is at the highest level it's been since 2009. I think we all need to panic. Not really. Keep watching to find out why. Hi guys, Jamie here and welcome to the channel. If you've not watched before, I put out content all about property investing and just the general state of the property market. So what I'm going to talk about today is all about the Bank of England base rate. Before I do that, if you could please hit like and subscribe, it would be much appreciated. All of your support and subscriptions, comments and stuff like that, it does really encourage me to post out more content and interact with you guys. Love doing it, by the way, so thank you very much so far. Right, let's have a talk about the Bank of England base rate. As I mentioned in the intro, it's the highest level it's been since, I think, February 2009. Now, I speak to people on a daily basis who are quite concerned about this. You know, understandably, if something's the highest it's been for over a decade, then you start to think, well, hang on, if that price is creeping up, interest rates creeping up, then it's going to make things less affordable, right? Well, yes and no. I think what we need to do really is put this in some historical context. So, over the last few years, due to a number of reasons, the Bank of England base rate has been absolutely rock bottom. I'm talking 0.5%, 0.25%, even 0.1%. Now, what you need to understand, especially if you're new to property investing, is that that's not normal. That is literally rock bottom. You know, prior to that 1% Bank of England base rate, which it is now, in 2009, 1% was the lowest level that it had ever been historically. It had never been that low. And not only had it not ever been 1%, it was fairly common for the Bank of England base rate, especially leading up to the boom phase of prior to the last crash in 2008, for the Bank of England base rate to be 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5%. So when you think, you know, a lot of people are going to have a heart attack now thinking, oh my God, what if Bank of England base rate went up by 5.5%, and then the banks obviously chip their little bit of interest on as well, and then you're paying interest rates of around 6-7%. Well, guess what, guys? It can happen, and it quite possibly will. But there were a lot of people who made money in property when the Bank of England base rate was that high, and I take a lot of solace in that. You know, if anything, we need to adjust our expectations as investors to think, well, hang on a minute, what we've experienced previously with regards to interest rates is very low, and that's not the norm. Let's adjust our approach and look at things moving forward. Now, what you will get, and this is the really annoying thing actually, is a lot of manipulative marketing in the media. So, for example, Bank of England base rate goes up by 10 times in a matter of months. So everybody, especially newbies, start to panic, because from 0.1 to 1%, that's 10 times growth. Oh my God, what if it goes up 10 times again? What if it goes from 1% to 10%? Now, that's not going to happen in the next few months. But believe it or not, I was sat talking to a guy the other day and he said, oh, do you know Bank of England base rates are going to go up to 10% by Christmas? Now, if that happens, granted, a lot of people are going to be screwed. But I'm fairly certain that there are safeguards in place that can't happen. I don't think it's in anyone's benefit, anybody's interest, for that to happen. So, what would I recommend? Well, look at your property strategy, look at where you're going. Of course, do not over leverage yourself. If you're in a position of getting your remortgage done, or more importantly, purchasing new buy-to-let properties, then it's very, very important that you fix fix onto a long-term rate as long as you can. I think for the most part they've scrapped the 10-year rates now, but definitely if you can fix onto a 5-year interest rate, that's what I've just done with my properties, then it's going to safeguard you for the next few years while you can start to make some important planning decisions. You know, if you're a believer in the 18-year property cycle, which I am, then there's still a few more years of double-digit growth to go. That might seem wild to the skeptics among you, I understand that, but I was listening to the property podcast the other day, by the way, excellent, the two Robs. If you haven't watched it, you need to get on and watch that. They've also got a YouTube channel. And there was double-digit growth in, I think, the year 2001, again in 2002, and I think, I might be getting the date slightly wrong, but in 2003, potentially, there was a 20% house price growth. And that growth continued right up until the crash, 2007, 2008. Now, when that crash happened, property prices dropped by 15%. Shock horror. You know, everyone talks about these dramatic property crashes, like, oh, it's going to be devastating and for investors and all this. But if you think about it, if you buy a house now and then the market crashes in 5 years' time, then you're still going to be 3 years up if the growth is as I said. So I wouldn't panic too much. Property's a long-term game. Fix in if you can to a long-term rate when you're looking at your mortgage for your buy-to-lets, and just reassess. Don't make any rash decisions. Whatever you do, do not listen to the media, because that will only frighten you. And keep your head on your shoulders, keep digesting free content like this, like the property podcast, like other experts who are doing it, have done it, and know what they're talking about. That's what I've got to say on the matter. Hope that helps and reassures you a little bit. The worst thing you can do with regards to anything financial is panic. Listening to the media, panicking about headlines, especially without researching where the story comes from and what the truth is behind it. So bear that in mind, guys. Again, please hit like and subscribe. I'll be posting a video of our HMO, our latest HMO, in the next couple of weeks. Just bought another one as well. Like I said, going in heavy on the investments at the minute. I think that's important. You know, head down, keep on trucking, properties long term, and yeah, I'll keep you updated on how we go. Thanks very much, guys, and I'll catch you next week.